Alright, so now for a much less disappointing Fantom product. This is one of the original Thunders, before they were actually called Thunder. This was basically the Fantom domestic machine, its final revision before being renamed the Thunder, from what I can tell, and the documentation I have. So this has what originally were supposed to be a whitish gray bumper, hand grip that's partially torn off on this one, and hose, which mine is missing its lower cord clip, which is why the cord is scattered quite the way it is. And so the story behind this guy is this machine came into my work, and the woman brought it in, says it's not working, it's not really picking up anymore, and I think it needs a new switch or a new cord. So we got it in, we tested everything out, we wrote up a quote for her, which, to be completely honest, it was not worth fixing, because, you know, Fantom, complete lack of availability of any parts. So it needed a new cord, the brush roll was not in the greatest condition, and really it needed a new brush roll. It needed a new switch, which luckily this is the old type version that uses a Hoover Conquest switch. Later revisions of these cleaners used a completely different and what I'm fairly certain is a proprietary switch with no real alternate. And it needed a real good cleaning because this thing was filthy. Oh, and a new HEPA filter too. So we called her, we gave her the quote, and we told her that really she would be better off trading it in, and we would get her a trade-in credit. She never contacted us back. We tried contacting her on a couple different occasions, but we never heard anything from her. So our best assumption, she went to Walmart, abandoned this brilliant 20-year-old little machine and didn't even use it for credit, and moved on with her life. Now, I figure I should start with some of the more shocking things about this when we got into it. Now, it had never had its HEPA filter replaced. It still had its original HEPA filter from one of Fantom's original HEPA production suppliers, which was FAR Technologies, I believe was the name. I know it's FAR, F-A-R-R. I believe it's Technologies after that, but I could be incorrect. So it had a, I think the manufacture date was 94, so a 22-year-old HEPA filter in it. Never had replaced the belt from what I could tell, or at the very least the last time they replaced the belt was still when Fantom was in business, because the belt was an original Fantom belt. It had the Fantom markings on it. How it lasted that long, I don't know. The only reason why it actually broke is they sucked up a sock. People are disturbing. Got the new switch in it. Got a 40-foot cord on it that we had in at work. Got a HEPA filter that I had. Belt. I managed to clean up the brush roll just enough to really make it passable with relubricating everything. And that was really about all that it needed to have done. So I should also add, in case people get outraged at me of, oh, you took the machine. We have a policy at work. If you leave the machine there more than 30 days and we don't hear from you at all. I mean, we will keep, and we have kept machines for customers for well over a year because they had shit going on and they contacted us. This woman never contacted us again after basically, I believe, our second contact with her. And it's been probably a good 6 months at least. She's never come back in, never called. So, yeah. The machine was the shop's. I worked on it and got it all fixed up because otherwise it was just going in our basement for parts to rot away, and that would have been very sad because I've never actually seen one of these Fantoms before. So this is relatively clean. I'm going to go dump out this little bit of what looks to be leftover capture powder and dust with the remnants of all the other capture. And we'll give this little guy a run. So all it was missing as far as the original tools is its floor tool, which I just placed an order on eBay for kind of a lot of relatively good condition tools. The main reason why I wanted it is it had the adapter peg for the Fury, so you can stick the optional extra accessory pet hair tool on there, which I've got the pet hair tool, I don't have the holder, and there's an additional pet hair tool that also is coming with the shipment of all that. So this is still the captured rug. Don't kill me. I have a feeling this guy will handle it just fine. And here we go. And yes, it does need new headlight bulbs. I just have not taken the time to track down any for the poor thing. And I was pretty impressed by how good this machine actually sounded for how old it was, because I should clarify, this was this woman's main vacuum. In the years that she'd had it, she'd never had anything else. This was it for the entire time she had owned it. So, and she was very clearly the person who did not take care of things, because on top of what I, said about all the issues with not having ever had any parts replaced, when we got it in, the dirt in the canister was filled about up to where the fill line is. It was probably more down here versus the top of the Cyclones, but it was filled with just like potting soil from the look of things, just filled to the brim. And I don't know, I felt bad for the thing. I had to bring it home. Plus, it was an interesting little piece of Fantom history. This is still when the logos were just a sticker, a decal applique, versus an actual printing into the plastic. And this has the 11 amp dual stage motor instead of the final 12 amp that the Thunders eventually came with. And all in all, I was surprised with how well this thing had held up. This is still when they were branding the labels as Iona Appliances instead of Fantom Technologies. That is the serial number, which I'm guessing that means it was made in '94. If anyone knows for sure how you use the serial numbers to date a Fantom, please let me know. I'd be very interested. And I'll show you guys the bottom of this. Actually, you know what, before I do that, dump this all over. Here's the additional capture it managed to pull out, which, not a lot, but for an old Thunder, not too bad. And I'll lay it back. So there's the brush roll on it. Bristles aren't all that bad, but as you could hear on wind down, it's definitely not the best sounding roller ever. But otherwise, I mean, everything is intact. The little handle return spring and its little weird knob holder. Just, I was very shocked with how good condition this machine was in. I took the time. Actually, camera's going to cut me off, so I'll be right back after this jump. So like I said, I was very, very pleasantly surprised with what kind of condition, especially for being as neglected as it was, this machine was in, especially with how good the motor sounds, because the motor sounds perfect, as you can obviously tell. All the noise on wind down actually comes from the brush roll itself and not the motor. So, I don't know, I felt this machine deserved a place in my collection. I took a day, actually, where I just tore the entire thing apart. This entire machine, I didn't tear it down quite to the motor, because I didn't have my repair guides with me, and I really didn't know how to do it, nor did I really want to get into it, truthfully. So I tore everything else apart: the cyclone assembly, the HEPA assembly, the base assembly, put it all in the sink. It all got sanitized, cleaned out, the hose too, and everything like that, and basically gave it a full-on refurbishment. So, I mean, I've been very, very happy with this little machine's performance. But yeah, that's about it for today on this one.